हाय वेलकम टू माय चैनल बुक्स ऑफ अर्चिता। आई होप आप सबकी होली क्रेजी रही होगी क्योंकि मेरी तो होली क्रेजी गई थी। और उसी का कलर छुड़ाने में, लोगों से मिलने में, 10 घर की गुजिया खाने में मेरा टाइम कैसे बीता मुझे पता भी नहीं चला। एनीवेज, आज मैंने फाइनली अपना फेवरेट काम किया है, आप लोगों के लिए एक वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करने का। अभी तक हम लोग फॉर्म्स ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर के बारे में पढ़ाई कर रहे थे। अब अपकमिंग वीडियोस में मैं इंग्लिश लिटरेचर पीरियड्स को कवर करूंगी। टोटल 9 है। तो लेट अस बिगिन विद द ओल्ड इंग्लिश, द एंग्लो-सैक्सन पीरियड 450 to 1066 AD. Before knights and castles, before kings and queens, there was the world of the Anglo-Saxons, a land of warriors, poets, and ancient traditions. From the fall of Rome to the Norman Conquest, this era shaped the very foundation of English history, language, and literature. The beginning of Anglo-Saxon England. The story begins in the 5th century. Rome had abandoned Britain, leaving it vulnerable to invasion. Across the sea, 3 powerful Germanic tribes arrived: the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes. They conquered the land, formed new kingdoms, and gave birth to what we now call England. Society and class structure. Anglo-Saxon society was hierarchical. Kings, rulers of kingdoms, often warriors themselves, earls, nobles, landowners who supported the king, kings, warriors, and landholders served the king and could rise in rank. Cereals, free peasants, farmers who owned land but owned military service. Thralls, slaves, lowest class, often prisoners of war. Government and law. Society was ruled by kings advised by a council, the Witan. Laws were based on blood feuds and compensation. Vergilde. Trials included ordeals, example walking on hot iron to prove innocence. Most people were farmers, growing wheat, barley, and oats. Houses were simple wooden structures with thatched roofs. Mead halls were social centers where warriors feasted, listened to poets, scouts, and pledged loyalty. Women had some rights, such as owning land and running estates. Before Christianity, they followed a pagan, polytheistic belief system: Odin, Thor, Freya. Belief in weird fate, a destiny that even gods couldn't change. Christianity gradually replaced paganism, introducing new values and ethics. Weapons: swords, spears, shields, and axes. Warfare was common, with small armies led by lords. Rich warriors were buried with their weapons and treasures. Example: Fu burial. While the sword ruled the battlefield, words ruled the soul. Anglo-Saxon poetry was powerful, filled with themes of exile, bravery, and fate. What they called world, faith, and war. At first, the Anglo-Saxons were fierce pagans, worshipping gods like Odin and Thor. But in 597 AD, everything changed. The Christian monk Saint Augustine arrived, converting the Anglo-Saxon kings and their people. Monasteries became centers of learning, preserving knowledge and writing down the very words that shaped history. Saint Augustine was sent by Pope Gregory I during the time period of 597 to 800 AD to convert Anglo-Saxons to Christianity. After that, Viking invasion took place around 800 to 900 AD. The Vikings, mainly Danes and Norsemen, started writing England in the late 8th century. Many English territories fell under Viking rule, forming the Danelaw. King Alfred the Great, 871-899, successfully defended Wessex and promoted education. Norman Conquest, 1066. The period ended with William the Conqueror's victory at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Norman rule replaced Anglo-Saxon leadership, changing the language and culture forever. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from history. Until next time, remember the past, for it shapes our future. This was the end of my video on history of Anglo-Saxon period and beginning of the Old English literature, from where the English literature began and the foundation of Britain or England. In my next video, I will cover famous writers from the Old English literature, few texts that were available and are even today a worthy treasure from the past, from the history. Till then, as I said, don't forget the history and past because it definitely shapes our future.